causes you to be stuck. See, you can't get no further. You can't get off of welfare because you can't get in God's care. You can't trust God. See, we get stuck with what we got, this lack. That spirit of lack is a big one. It's a big one. That's a fear that controls us. And we don't even think about how it's controlling us. But look at it. You ain't never got it. You never get it. Because you're constant. The fear of lack causes you to do this. And when you close your hand, God can't put nothing in it. So how you going to get something when this fear of lack causes us to be like this all the time? What are some of the other fears that we have today? What's going to happen tomorrow? The fear of the future. See, we get so focused on what's going to happen tomorrow, we forget about living today. The fear of the future. I'm so worried about, well, if I don't do this, if I do this, then guess what? Tomorrow, if I don't do this tomorrow, this is going to happen. And then the next day, guess what we do? We spend a whole lot of time with that fear, projecting things in our own mind that don't even never happen. We spend a whole lot, we make up the story that don't even come true in our own minds because of fear. It keeps us, you know, if I step out and that fear of, what about the fear of loving? Oh, no, I can't be loving nobody unconditionally. Oh, come on. What about that fear that we have of unforgiveness? I can't be forgiven. Because if I forgive them, then they might turn around and do the same thing to me all over again and hurt me all over again. And so I ain't going to forgive them. So I'm just going to sit in my rocking chair and walk right back and forth with unforgiveness in my heart. And I don't never live and they don't never live and everybody in bondage. Yeah. Fear. Fear. Worrying about things that we don't have no control over. Fear. For any of us have grown adult children sitting around worried about how to control them. You can't control yourself. So what are you worried about trying to control somebody else for? See, these are the same kinds of fears that keep us in bondage. Amen. Fear causes us to fail over and over and over again. Ask yourself, what are your fears? Ask yourself that. What are they? Amen. What's causing you? Is it sickness? Is the fear of sickness, of healing, that you can't be healed? What's the fears in your life? Is it the fear of success? Do you know that there are people who are afraid of success? Yes. How do we know that you're afraid of success? Yes. Because you never do anything to reach out toward success. You don't like change. Those usually people don't like change. Because, see, the same old way is comfortable, even though it might not be good. It's comfortable. Success means that you got to reach out beyond what is comfortable for you and do something new that may cause failure. But see, on the other hand, on the other side, that most folks don't realize that is in order to be successful, you must first fail. That's called learning. If you think, young people, if you think you're going to start off being successful without first learning some principles of life, you're sadly mistaken. You already failed. In order to be successful, you first must fail, and that comes from trial and error of life. But how many people stuck and can't do that because they can't change? Just the ways I've always been. I've always been that way, and everybody already knows that that's the way I've always been, and so this is the way it's going to be for me. Amen. Praise God. Praise God. I don't care if I'm crazy. Praise God. This is the ways I've always been. And you best need to understand, I ain't going to change. I might seem crazier. Change. Fear of change. Fear about what's going to happen to our children. Fear about doing things. See, the other one is the fear that we have to do it. You know, God tells you to step out in faith in your tithes, in your offering, and you think you got to step out in faith. It ain't you. It's the Spirit that will work in you. It's the God in you that will do it. But we can't do a lot of things because we are afraid. And that fear is a big, it's a big thing, guys. I'm sorry. It's really bigger than you really think. We don't realize as a body of believers how fear controls our lives and stops us from being able to be used according to the way God has called us to be used. Some of us are in here. Young people, I need you. Young people, I need you to turn off any texts. I need you to turn off anything like that. This ain't the place nor the time. Y'all know I'm up here. So you know when I'm up here, I see it and I call it. Turn it off. This ain't the place. Okay? Fear. This fear, guys, that we're talking about. The fear, one of the fears is, guess what? Satan don't want you to hear the message. So if he can get you on the little text to Jody them, Jody them can't help you do nothing. They ain't going to buy you no bologna sandwich. See, it's going to be God to tell mama and the good sisters of the church to provide for you. While you trying to play around with God, you can't do that. See, that's fear. Satan will do that to you. He's trying to trap your mind. Okay, moving past that.
Let the Spirit use you.
Let's look at this, Psalms 91. This is a good message. This Psalms 91. The world seems to be getting more and more dangerous. In Psalms 91, that's what was happening. People are moving from place to place, trying to find safety. They scared. Okay? In this Psalms, and this is happening today. Fear. We're moving from our nice neighborhood where we have paid for our houses or our homes are in the range financially that we can afford it, but we up and moving from our comfort level, trying to move out there to the suburbs where the prices of the property is triple for what you paying for your little house because we're afraid of the folks in our neighborhood, the folks that look like us. We're afraid of them. We're afraid of the young men. We're afraid of the young women that are acting such ways and blah, blah, blah. I don't know where that came from for us, for us as a cultural people. I ain't known these older mamas in here ain't scared of none of these young folk in here. None of these young men or women up in here. Where we getting all of a sudden that we're afraid of the folks that look like us? In our neighborhood, we scared of them. I ain't seen that. I don't know nothing about that, young people. So if you got your little friends that you might want to introduce to Minister Barnes, just let them know. She not scared of young people.
Well,
but for the grace of God. Okay, so let them know that. Ain't no fear in God. Why would I be fear about somebody that look like me? I should be loving on them and setting an example of them and letting them see that there's a boldness in me that I ain't care nothing about that Satan in you that think you bad. This God in me is a whole lot more powerful than that. You need to get an understanding of that. But what are we doing? We're moving out of our neighborhoods. Moving them out instead of being a light in that neighborhood, instead of us senior women walking boldly through and senior men walking boldly to them neighborhoods, addressing them young people the way God would have us to do, we running from them and leaving them to the destruction of the world. All over fear. What might they say? Who cares? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but they words, what they gonna do? Nothing. Okay. This psalm points us with the quiet confidence toward the Almighty, who offers protection in a day of trouble.